Hey, what's good everybody, it's Lance again and I'm coming at you again with another movie review. Today I'm going to review the newest Alex Garland film, Annihilation, starring Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, Gina Rodriguez, Oscar Isaac, and a whole bunch of other great people. Here's the trailer.
We've sent in drones and teams of people, but nothing comes back.
But something has.
You're a biologist. You served in the military.
If I knew what happened, I could save his life.
The boundary's getting bigger, it's expanding. We're talking cities, states.
You need to know what's inside. So do I.
Annihilation was a film that I was really highly anticipating because of the director Alex Garland. I really liked what he did in 2015 with Ex Machina. I thought that was a really interesting film, very good take on sci-fi, artificial intelligence, and the idea of creation and just creating something new. This film tackles similar themes in which how it tackles science fiction, the ambiguity of it, the creation aspect, and just everything in general regarding to like biology and things of that nature. Basically the whole premise of this film is that Natalie Portman, who is a biologist who's teaching at a university, her husband played by Oscar Isaac come back from like a 12-month journey and she doesn't even know where he's been. He's just like a completely different man and he's very sick and he's dying. And basically what happens is that she discovers that he was on like a 12-month voyage onto this like kind of like transcendent wall. It's called the Shimmer. Once you go beyond this wall, there's like a whole bunch of like different things happening in regards to biology and scientific discoveries. Animals are crossbreeding, basically creating animals that are just not what you would ever see in real life. Crocodiles with shark teeth, bears, and things of that nature. A whole bunch of different creatures are coming out of this whole vicinity, and this is a phenomenon that's happening and it has the potential to basically affect the entire world. Natalie Portman's character kind of just gets sucked up into this like whole situation. She encountered Jason Leigh's character, almost one of the masterminds behind this whole operation of just trying to get inside of here, extract information from it. She meets a whole new team of people. Once they go further and further into the Shimmer, days become weeks, months become years. You don't know exactly what you're doing. You can't remember things. It's just a whole big, not nightmarish, but like almost like a dreamlike sequence as soon as you step into the Shimmer. The deeper you go in, the more weirder things become and the more weirder you feel as a human being. I honestly just really love this film. The cinematography is outstanding. Rob Hardy, I'm not sure what else he's done. I'm not sure if he did Ex Machina with Alex Garland before, but this film was shot beautifully. The special effects, I think there's some groundbreaking stuff here. There are instances where I felt like I was taken back into John Carpenter's The Thing. Truly, one of the best films I've seen in quite a while in regards to science fiction, and I appreciated it a whole lot. All the performances are stellar, so we don't really have to get into that. Natalie Portman is the main character, and she provides some of the most human, some of the most intense, or some of the most understanding sequences in the film. She's a great leading actress and she proves it yet again. She's always proved it before in the past and she does no different here. Gina Rodriguez, I haven't seen a lot of her other than her show on the CW. However, she is really good in this film. Tessa Thompson, same thing, plays a very different role this time. Jason Leigh, you kind of understand exactly what her character is the further and further you get onto the movie. I don't want to spoil anything because honestly I believe that this film doesn't need to be spoiled. I think that you should go into this film knowing as little as you should know about it. I don't think that you should be watching so many reviews, so many trailers, just to try to see if you can get an eye on what this film is going to be about, because I don't think that this film calls for that. I think this film calls for a discussion. I think that this film calls for you to just come out of this film and really think about it the whole ride home. There was a lot to be admired in this film, and I feel like the pacing combined with the cinematography, the editing, and just everything around it, Alex Garland just makes, almost in my opinion, a near masterpiece. This film almost exceeded every expectation I had going into the film. This was everything I could want, honestly, in this type of movie, and it reminded me a lot of Ex Machina, but honestly I believe it's better than Ex Machina. And this is coming from someone who really admired that film as well. I actually own it on Blu-ray. This film is just one of those February releases that just takes you by storm. I understand people are probably not going to like this film simply because of the fact it's not Natalie Portman just shooting at creatures the whole 90 or 150 or 120 minutes of the film. I understand like people are just going to be kind of like left off guard, thinking that it's going to be something and then it turns out to be something else, which happens a lot when you come to science fiction. There are a lot of films that choose not to be ambitious and to choose to go the regular route and conventional route of just having the main character just go up against creatures, go up against monsters, etc, etc. This film is not that. This film calls for a discussion. It's very tense, it's very slow at some points, but it picks up and it all works to the pacing of the film. It was not a time where I was bored throughout the movie. Maybe that's just my personal taste, maybe that's just because I was admiring every frame that I was seeing, or just maybe because, you know, I just look at the films differently than some other people. I really understood exactly a lot of what was happening, and also did not understand some of what was happening. But that's okay, because I'm sure that that's what the director had planned. There's so many different interpretations of what can be described in this movie. It honestly just leaves me with like a warm feeling in my heart that there are still films made about this, made for a considerable amount of money. This was made for, I believe, $44 million or $50 million or so, and that, you know, these films are actually being seen by people. It was so hard to get a ticket to watch this movie. I live in New York City. I use MoviePass. MoviePass let me down for the first time. Anyway, that's for another video. But these films in these showcases were all sold out, and it took me a while to be able to get a decent showtime, and I finally did, and I'm glad I did. You know, it's honestly one of the best films of the year in my opinion. I understand it's only February, but honestly, it's just that good of a film, and I have to say that I want people to see it. I think that this kind of genre in science fiction is really underrepresented. We don't see a lot of these type of movies anymore. If I had to give any like critiques or comments about the film, I don't know if I really can per se. There's so much that I admired in this movie. Maybe there's just one subplot, right, with Natalie Portman and another professor that I probably could have went without, and I agree with some other critics that maybe that wasn't as necessary as some of the other stuff in the film. However, that doesn't really take away from the fact that I believe that the film is just really something to just take and like take a deep breath and just kind of just sit back and just try to digest. If I had to give this movie a grade from a scale from 1 to 10, I'd definitely give it a 9.25. The only reason I'm giving it not 9.5 or higher is because of the fact that I feel like I would like to sit back and try to understand this film a little bit more, and then maybe come up with an educated grade later on. Because I feel like this film is so ambiguous, so left for interpretation, that honestly my rating could be extremely different from somebody else's. So who knows? Anyway, I'm Lance Thompson. This is my review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like. That would really help me out. Also subscribe, because you know you need 1,000 subscribers to get any type of monetization on your videos. I will be coming out with some new videos soon. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. Anyway, I'm Lance Thompson.